Welcome back, everybody. We all know I don't really care what day or week of month or year it is, but welcome back. We kind of have an interesting guest. Funny enough, I never would have guessed that this was the person that I had the closest actual personal connection to in the Schmodown. And it is the one and only Jeff Sneider.
Oh, that was quick. Hi.
I don't ramble. I just get right to the point.
I'm ready.
Let's drink and chat. So, happy belated birthday, because yesterday was your big 37th.
Yes, number 30. Oh, you're a Kevin Smith fan. Yes, 37. It was a big one for me, for a movie buff. Yeah, it was lovely. My brother and sister-in-law got me a Tres Leches cake, which is hard to find in Boston, apparently.
I was like, for a second, I was like, why would that be hard to find in LA? And then I remembered that you're back in Boston.
Right.
How's all that going?
It's freezing. It's great to be around the family, but it's miserable. I don't go outside. I have to wait 2 months to go outside.
Yeah, all of my friends that live in like the Midwest, like Wisconsin and like Illinois and Minneapolis areas, like all that stuff. Like, I'm like, so basically this winter was just winter for you. Like you just don't like leave the house like normal.
Yes, exactly. Like it's dark at 4:30.
Yeah.
And I don't wake up till like 10:30, so it's like 6 hours of daylight a day.
Yeah, and then you feel like the best, like the most amazing, like vampire, because you're up until like 2 a.m.
If I'm lucky, I go to bed at 2 a.m. these days. Right. I've been up to like 4 lately. I really need to sleep more.
Yeah, I do too. I've been trying to like figure out. I'm like, okay, so do I stay up 24 hours just to like reset my clock and like get myself super exhausted by like 8 p.m. the next day and like just try and start that over again?
Yep.
I'm like this close to telling my mom to give me a bedtime. I'm like, just turn off the Wi-Fi.
I have no discipline. I have no discipline.
Yeah, I don't either. I mean, then again, her turning off the Wi-Fi wouldn't mean anything because I have all of my physical media here. So I'm like, oh, you want to turn off my Netflix? Fuck you. I got my DVDs. Like I would just turn into a 12-year-old again. Be like, oh, you can send me bed, but I'm going to read till 4 a.m.
I remember that, having a little flashlight under the covers.
Oh, fuck yeah. And my parents stopped making me hide under the covers. They would just come in because like I kept like it kept getting hot and I kept like getting like hot flashes and shit and like getting sick. And they're like, okay, just read until you pass out and we'll come in and we'll turn off your light. And I'm like, okay, cool.
Sounds good. I would say probably half the books behind me up there like were read like that under the covers with the flashlight.
I mean, I wish that my parents had like just gotten me one of those mining lights. Like one of those.
I had all kinds of weird clip-on things that would clip onto the book.
And they never worked.
Or yeah, exactly. They would fall apart or break.
What were the books that you used to read in bed? Like what types of books?
So I was a big R.L. Stine guy, and the fact that I got to interview him, as part of my job was like, I couldn't even believe it. But I read I started out on Goosebumps, and then I graduated to Fear Street.
Oh, yeah.
Do some Fear Street super chillers, get the Cheerleaders quadrilogy there. I mean, there's a lot of, and I love the Babysitter books. The Babysitter is my favorite. So I was big into that.
Yeah, I worked my way up to R.L. Stine, like to the older kid stuff. But I was always like halfway between an R.L. Stine book and then would switch to Christopher Pike and then go back and forth.
Christopher Pike was the other one. What was it? Chainmail.
Chainmail. My favorite one of his was Remember Me, the girl that like got killed and like her ghost was trying to like figure out her murder because she hadn't gone to heaven yet.
Okay. All those the way that they make Stephen King books into movies and shows these days, that's what they should be doing with R.L. Stine. I do worry about the new Fear Street movies that are coming out on Netflix this summer. I just don't get a good vibe from them.
Oh, really? I'm so sad because I was so excited for them because like everything that that Netflix has been turning out has been pretty damn decent. So
really,
I mean, they gave me Always Be My Maybe, so I can't be mad at them.
After that, there's nowhere to go but down.
As soon as you get Keanu playing a douchebag version of himself, like, yeah, you can't really go
That was
anywhere.
a very cute movie. I love Randall Park.
Yes, which I'm so excited. I hope that I heard that they were pitching to Marvel for his own show.
I'm sorry, it wasn't Chainmail, it was Chain Letter. chain letter. That's what it was. Remember?
Oh.
Right. It was driving me nuts
So
there for a second. I was like, I know I don't have this right.
Thank God it's not the Schmodown yet.
Right, exactly. I still have
rewind.
another few weeks before Dan kills me.
How's that studying going?
Studying. I haven't done any studying. I'm too busy watching the movies right now.
Well, that's a form of studying.
It is. It'll prepare me down the line for things. But yeah, no, I haven't really had the chance to watch a lot of old movies. I've been watching Sundance stuff and just I like to have my finger on the pulse of what's new.
Wait, you don't watch movies made before 1970?
God, only when I go downstairs and Dad's watching something super old, and then I just sort of fall into it.
Now, did your parents get you into movies?
No.
Oh, so how did that come along?
They encouraged it in the sense that like they paid for all the Blockbuster rentals and all that stuff, but I wouldn't say that either one of them was like super into movies. My grandmother didn't mind that I was into like horror movies and stuff because that's how it starts. I feel like any true movie buff falls in love with horror movies first. It's the stuff you're not allowed to watch as a kid.
I watched Gremlins when I was 8 years old and was terrified for the rest of my life. That and It, the same summer for some reason. I watched both of them and like.
Okay, It. I mean, like, and Gremlins is pretty close. Like, those are genre movies. Like, that's just how I think kids fall in love with movies. They may love animated movies, but you don't develop like the hunger for movies without a little bloodlust, I feel like. Okay,
that's fair. Yeah, bloodlust is one thing. Horror movies are completely different because I grew up watching musicals and westerns with my dad.
Okay.
And then like all the Disney stuff, obviously, because I'm me. I wasn't really big into horror until I like legitimately started studying. Like I liked some horror movies, but like I didn't fall in love with horror until this fall when I was studying for the horror free-for-all. And then I watched all of them and scared the crap out of myself. And
I think a big part of that, though, is how you're raised. You know, like a lot of parents don't want to let their 9-year-old kid watch, slice and dice movies and will rent them from Blockbuster for them or whatever it may be. So, mine never cared. I mean, I was the first one, so I was the one that they made all the mistakes with.
That makes so
sibling, much. Right, where they like learned how to actually parent or whatever.
You were the trial pancake.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I wish I had an older sibling to like hand me these cool artifacts and watch some of these movies that I know Mark Ellis and Christian Harloff love, but like I didn't have that older brother.
I mean, I had an older sister, but she was never like the type of older sibling to be like, this is what I've learned. Here is a gift.
Didn't impart her wisdom on you?
No, she didn't at all. Not at all. I think because she hated me because I used to break into her room and like cut her Barbie's hair.
I was just about to say, she was like, don't you dare touch my fucking like cassette tapes. Like if you touch my Joni Mitchell album, I'll kill you.
Actually, the first album I ever got was I was again 8. 8 was a big year for me apparently. I was 8, my older sister was 10, and we got cassette tapes, and she got Eat the Rich, or no, I'm sorry, Get a Grip by Aerosmith, and I got Heart-Shaped Box, or not Heart-Shaped Box, Mariah Carey.
Okay.
And we both like looked at each other and then like swapped without talking.
I knew where that was going.
Yeah, I was like, now I'm a Mariah Carey girl, but like at 8 years old, I was like, no, I want Steven Tyler. Like, he's awesome.
For sure. Aerosmith rules, still does.
Still does. Like, how have they, like, they're just preserved. I think all the drugs in the 80s just like keeps their body together at this point.
I am amazed by stuff like that, whether it's them or the Rolling Stones or even Scorsese. Like Martin Scorsese has done so much cocaine, like a dump truck with it, and he's still alive and kicking, making movies.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's just the good old days when drugs kept people together. Sorry, I just got a visual image of Scorsese and De Niro doing coke.
That happened.
I'm 100% convinced it did. Like nobody could tell me otherwise. Uh, now we have an interesting connection. So you were the first, I think one of the first people I met. You were the first person to invite me to come watch the live tapings. Because a girl that I grew up with since like infancy went to college with you.
Mm-hmm.
And JJ's kind of the reason why you got your start in the industry, right?
That is true. That's 100% true.
How did that happen? Tell everybody, because I love this story.
Janelle created the Snidepocalypse. My friend Janelle, who is like one of the coolest people ever, she was the DJ at the NYU radio station, and so she was getting all these cool invites to stuff, and she got invited to see like the Matrix sequel early, and she was like, what am I going to do with this invitation? So she gave it to me, knowing I was a big movie buff. I went to see this Matrix sequel and reviewed it and sent the review to Ain't It Cool News, and that's how I started my sort of movie blogging career. Was off of that Matrix review, which Harry Knowles, who at the time, it was a good guy.
At the time, we did not know.
He liked my writing and gave me this opportunity, and I never made a dime off Ain't It Cool or whatever, but it was good exposure back when exposure actually meant something. And it just started me on this journey. So I owe it all to Janelle, who I always make sure to thank in these kinds of stories. And but yeah, she created a monster. Blame her.
Which is the funny thing, because I came home. I came back to San Jose and saw that she had saw on her Facebook that she had just posted photos of her brand new baby. And we, like I said, we've known each other since infancy. We grew up just down the street from each other. So I went over to see her and meet the baby and say hi to her mom. Mm-hmm. We're hanging out, and I'm looking at her page, and it's the mutual friends. And so I sent her a message, and I was like, oh my God, I miss you. I want to see you. By the way, how the fuck do you know Jeff Sneider? And she responded back with, oh my God, I can't wait to see you. Wait, how do you know Jeff Sneider?
Yeah.
It was a fun little chat. And then she's like, do you want to I can give you his number. I was like, well, check with him first. Cause that's weird. And then we went out to lunch at the Cheesecake Factory when I came down to LA.
Is that where we went?
That's where we went. Yeah.
I'm sure the brown bread was delicious, always.
Always delicious. But yeah, we went out to lunch on a Wednesday because the next day was Thursday, and you were taping your match against, I think it was Top 10.
I have no idea.
The next day. I actually remember this so vividly. I remember it was between matches. I think yours was up next. And I'm sitting in one of the seats in the audience, and I'm talking with Roka, and you walk up with the belt and put it over my shoulder and go, hey babe, can you hold on to this? And walk away. And Roka's face was like, what just happened? And I'm like, oh my God. We have a mutual friend, and that's how I came, because Roka and I met before, and been a fan of the Top 10 podcast and stuff. And he was just like, what the fuck just happened? And I'm like, I don't.
He's my favorite person to taunt in the league. I had him on my podcast today. I got him to make his return to Collider a year later.
Yeah.
After everything, it was a landmark occasion, as it always is when I meet John Roca. And so yeah, I'm glad that you got a chance to hold the belt, and I got a chance to taunt Roca in one swift motion.
It was not even a split second. It was, hey babe, can you hold this? And turned on your heel and left. And we were just like, what? It was great. It was
well,
perfect.
I owe you one. If you need me to hold something, just let me know.
I mean, once I win the belts, yes, I will definitely make you
some red carpet. Just hand me your purse, and I'll be the little purse guy in the background.
Thanks. Yeah, that would be hilarious. So you got your start in movies because you were just a curious kid then, and you just really liked the stories, or?
I mean, I guess being the oldest brother, you need to find a way to entertain yourself. I could always. I started reading early. I remember at 3 years old starting to read the TV Guide. So I was always, watching movies on HBO, and when I got to be 12 or 13, I got one of those dual VCRs.
Oh yeah.
Put the movie in and then just record it, and just I just made a business out of that practically. They're all right here on the floor next to me in my childhood bedroom. I still have not cleaned them up in the almost year that I've been here. So I mean, that's how it started. Scream was a big one. Scream was like the landmark because Scream made me want to be a writer. Where I was just like, I have been fooled. I've been outsmarted by this Kevin Williamson guy. Who the hell is this guy?
By the Dawson's Creek guy.
How do I outsmart some, know-it-all 12-year-old when I'm, 30 years old? So Scream was definitely a special one, and I ended up, going to NYU to write movies. Was lucky enough to get that opportunity. But then just fell into the journalism thing, basically, in college. And when I came out to LA, I could either answer phones and pay my dues as an assistant in this town, which I learned pretty quickly I don't have in me. And I would rather speak truth to power as a reporter or a journalist. I sometimes wonder what would have, what could I have been if I had just sat around and answered phones at Blumhouse? But I don't know. You can't think of like that in life, right?
I mean, it's interesting to consider the possibilities, but not be like, I wish I could have. Like this, like the difference between like regret. I can talk tonight. Regrets and like wonder, like, and just like casually wondering. Like it's one of those like, I wonder what would have happened if I had gone to college.
Right. You can always dwell on the path not taken, but I don't have any regrets. I mean, if I had been working for Blumhouse, I may not be on this podcast tonight.
That's true. You wouldn't be the insider. What?
Talking to the Switchblade.
That's right. It's the Switchblade in the Snipocalypse. A very, very landmark night.
Could be a radio show somewhere janky though, like Tampa.
Oh God, no, not Tampa. Fuck that place.
Sorry.
There's like
the market we have to start in.
There's like one shining thing about Tampa, and it's like one restaurant. And it's not even a real restaurant. It's like a bodega. It's real fun.
I love that. See, you're very well traveled. You know all these little like places to go everywhere. You're a very knowledgeable, worldly woman.
Well, I used to be. Now it's once the world opens back up, it's going to be like I don't know if any of my favorite places are surviving all of this.
I can't wait to see what's open in LA when I come back. I'm like, do I even come back? Because are these places even open?
Right. Like, is there a reason to come back? Like, do I?
You're the reason.
Well, I'm in San Jose.
San Jose? Do you know the way to San Jose?
Yes, Dionne Warwick, I do know the way to San Jose from anywhere in the U.S. Somebody asked me that in a bar one time. Some guy was like trying to hit on me and be funny, and I was like, not having it. And he was like, so do you know the way to San Jose? I'm like, yeah, do you have a car? Because I can just get on the street right now, go down to the street, take a left, hop on 40, go west, hop on 67, and like
the Californians on them.
I was like, stop in Memphis for a sandwich and then like keep going because I want to get as far away from you as possible right now. He was not happy. Stopped asking me questions though. That was fun. Oh, guys.
I can imagine how many flies you have to swat away.
I mean, in the Midwest, yes, because I'm a goddess there. But go to LA and I'm like, oh, you're the size of my ankle. Great.
Oh, please.
No, I'm not going to do that. I meant the guys, not even the girls. Like the guys are just like, I've got
all these skinny bitches, guys included.
It's true. It's very, very true. Give me a mountain man any day. Now, you grew up in Boston, right?
Yes, just outside of it.
What part?
Needham, which is between Newton and Wellesley. It's about 15-20 minutes outside the city. Okay.
So what was that like going up? Did you like get to go to Yes, Chris. Yes, he did. 100%. He was also super drunk and like not charming. Did you get to go into the city a lot like growing up, or were you very much like we stay in our little town?
I only went into the city for the Celtics games. I went to a lot of Celtics games growing up. They were my team. It wasn't so much the Sox, the Pats, or whatever. So that was always a treat with Dad. But otherwise, like I hate going into the city now. The city is a nightmare to navigate. Boston, I mean, it's a lovely city and everything, but like getting there and parking and dealing with everything.
Oh, Yeah, you don't drive in the city. No. You just take the metro.
Sometimes we would take the T, but
yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I just don't know my way around Boston. Like, how do you get from Harvard Square to Copley Square to? I mean, I can't. I don't have a map in my head. It's not a grid like New York or LA.
I think it's the orange line to the blue line, but I could be mistaken. It's been a while since I've been in Boston.
I tried to do the Freedom Trail last month, okay? I made it like 2 stops on the Freedom Trail before I lost track of it, and I was like, I don't know where this thing is going.
I love Boston, though. Boston is honestly one of my favorite cities. Every time I get to go there, I have a friend who lives on the Cape. So, like, I always, like...
Cape's different. The Cape's beautiful.
Cape is stunning. It also has a really great train ride out there. So it's like, it's super fun. You can stay in the city and then be in the Cape, in like an hour and a half, 2 hours, something like that.
I would imagine, yeah.
If that. And then also, like, I never judge a city by its drivability because I never had a car on tour.
Mm-hmm.
So I was always like, oh, how easy is it to get around? How close are good restaurants to the theater and to my hotel? Okay, cool. Done. That's it.
Yeah, it's like, I grew up going to the Cape, but I was like a Jewish summer camp kid, so spent a lot of summers doing that. So,
actually, when you bring up the Celtics, that word always like brings back such a great memory because, what is it? Pride of the Celtics was the very first PG-13 movie I ever went and saw in theaters.
Pride of the Celtics? You're talking about Celtic Pride?
Celtic Pride. That one. Sorry.
Pride of the Celtics.
It's not the Schmodown yet.
You're adorable.
I got like 3 more months until my first match. Like, let's be honest. I'm fine.
I got it. Okay. So Celtic Pride. That is not a great movie.
No, it's not. But I remember, like, it just sticks in my mind because I went to go see it with some friends. I think we were 12 when that came out, right? It was
96. Yeah, around there.
96. Yeah. So we were about 12.
Earlier.
Because you turned 37 yesterday, and I turned 37 in April. So we are
84.
Yeah, 84 babies. And so I just remember, I think I was 12 when I went to go see it. My friends were 13, and I like felt so guilty sneaking into a PG-13 movie that I immediately came home and was like, "Mom, I'm so sorry. I lied to you about the movie."
I just remember Dan Aykroyd's horrible Boston accent in that movie.
Yeah, I mean, his Chicago accent is spot on. Yes, Chris, Celtic Pride.
That's right.
Yeah.
And Daniel Stern, right?
Yeah, Daniel Stern. It's so funny going back and looking at all of the movies that Damon Wayans was in and being like, oh my God, I completely forgot about that. I completely
forgettable movies, Damon Wayans.
I completely forgot that he was in Earth Girls Are Easy until I rewatched it like 8 months ago. That movie's so good.
Like Bulletproof.
Oh my! I mean, it's still a little problematic by today's standards, but it's so funny and it's
problematic.
It's got such heart. It's like it's nothing that they do is like to be cruel. Everything is just like because they're so stupid and so ignorant about everything that's going on around them. And plus, you get baby Jeff Goldblum and Jim Carrey, and they're babes. So
that's true.
And Gina Davis is stunning in a song.
She always has been.
Yeah, she's just. I mean, she's Dottie for me.
Right.
she is and will always be Dottie Henson for me because that's my favorite.
That's probably the case for me. Beetlejuice is a real close second, though.
Yeah, I did play softball growing up, so like we watched A League of Their Own like constantly.
What was your position? A League of Their Own is a fantastic film.
See the grass? Don't eat it.
Very quotable.
I played pitcher and shortstop in second.
Pitcher, short. So you were like good. I mean, pitcher. And
I was really good.
That's only for like the really good kids.
Yeah, I was good. I think my fastball got clocked at 75 when I was 14.
That's a softball pitch?
Softball pitch.
Wow.
Yeah, I was really good.
I'm really bad at softball. It was the one sport I couldn't play.
Well, guys don't necessarily play fast pitch, so.
No, it was softball. Like we would play it at summer camp. It was like the biggest sport. Actually, it's worth the most points out of all the sports, and it was the only one that I could never compete at the top level for.
Wait. Tell me about these sports and these points at this camp.
Okay, I went to summer camp. It was a Jewish summer camp, and it was all boys.
Okay.
So there were 7 sports, really. There's softball, basketball, soccer, European handball, volleyball, street hockey, and football.
Okay.
But it was like, flag football. And I played, they at the end of this season, there's color war. They rank you A, B, C, and D teams all the way down to like G teams. Just like for like the kids who can barely tie their own shoes. And I played A every sport except for softball because I'm a notoriously terrible softball. I can't picture like catching a pop fly the way you're supposed to catch it overhand.
Yeah.
I was the kid catching it underhand.
I mean, it depends on where you are, but yes. Like if you're running backwards, like you can.
Yeah, I didn't like balls flying and coming at me.
Well, there goes your social life.
I was the catcher too, and like these kids were just swinging this bat by my head.
It's terrifying. My dad
terrifying.
My dad was our coach for most of my super competitive years, and if I was back mouthing or being a sassy mouth, he would make me catch. And I was like, this is not okay for
terrible on your knees. Like who like volunteers to be a catcher?
There are some people that are really, really good at it. I do not have, even genetically, I do not have the cartilage to support being a catcher. Like this is not a catcher's body. even young, even when my joints still didn't crack every time I moved my body.
Yeah, I'm getting some of that too now that I'm 37. Yeah, I would just hope that the hitter would like get a hit, so I wouldn't even have to catch the ball. I was the guy who like blinks when it comes in and just like
you just put your mitt out, close your eyes, and pray that it goes in the net. I mean, to be fair, when all of this ends, I would love to go to a baseball game with you because I feel like between the two of us, we will get thrown out before the 3rd inning. And
I'd love to talk shit.
I mean, there's nothing more than I like. First of all, baseball is so great because as a fan, you get to sit outside in gorgeous weather, drinking beer and yelling at people, and you don't normally get arrested.
Normally.
Sometimes people get sensitive and you start fights in stands, but normally you don't get arrested.
Who's like your baseball team?
I really don't have one.
Okay.
Like I grew up in the Bay Area, so like the Giants are kind of like they were big when I was like when we were growing up, But I've been to a Giants game, A's game, Dodgers, Angels, like the stadiums. I've been to a Red Sox game, which was fucking amazing.
I like going to baseball games, but for the food.
Oh yeah.
I'm just there to eat food, basically. Baseball is pretty boring, especially when it's not even on TV and you can't even see anything. So, hoping a pop fly comes so I can not catch it.
Well, I mean, you could always just like be like part of the game and like what's the name of the bar inside the big green wall?
I have no idea. I'd just be the loudmouth, like in the Kid in the Sandlot.
Yeah. Yeah, I love to heckle. It's so much fun. So
I will tell a good story. I got front row seats to the Lakers, okay, from these producers. The producers got them from Avi Lerner, the studio boss, the head of the league. So I'm sitting in Avi Lerner's seats for this Lakers game. Each ticket is $2,800. Okay. Mm-hmm. This is almost a $6,000 gift that I've been given, plus like $250 parking thing, and all I did was yap the entire time at the Lakers because I'm a Celtics fan. They weren't even playing the Celtics. I think they were playing Phoenix, and I just did not shut up, and it drove them wild. Or so I'd like to think. They're probably also professionals who didn't care one way or the other. They've heard it all before. I wasn't being like rude and obnoxious, but
you were not being polite.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not there to root for the Lakers. Like, I remember where I came from.
Yeah, I mean, I went to a Lakers game once, and it was on a blind date, and the guy had like really good seats.
Blind date, and he took you. good seats at a Lakers game?
Good seats at like he had like season tickets, so like, you know, I think he was just kind of like, I need somebody to go. Do you know anybody who wants to go with me? My friend was like, Rachel likes sports, and I was like, sure. Basketball's like, okay, I can watch it. I know the rules. Like,
Did you play? Like, you're tall.
I did play in junior high. It's not my favorite because I don't like running. I like throwing things at people.
You play volleyball?
I did play volleyball. Okay. But that's more like that you're shuffling in like a 3x3 square usually. That's what I can dive for the ball. That's fine. But like, you know, basketball's okay. I'll watch it if it's on and if it's a good game. But I got set up, so he had these really great tickets, and we went into like the VIP bar area, and he like, you know, we make our way to the bar, and he like, we order drinks. And he pays for them. And while I'm waiting for them to get made, he goes to the bathroom, and I'm sitting there. And this guy who's sitting on the chair next to me, his back is to me, he just kind of turns around and he goes, "Did your date just leave you?" And it was fucking Nicholson. Like I lost.
Jack Nicholson?
It was Jack. I lost
Holy
my
shit.
fucking mind.
That's a great story. That's a real turn.
Turns around and like he's sitting there, and I'm standing in front of him, and like, we just have this amazing conversation in the back of my mind. Like, I will go home with you. I will, like, in my mind, I'm like, do I go home with him if he promises?
You do, just for the story.
The answer is yes. Of
just
course.
For the story and the STD, you know?
Also, just to be like, do you know who your daddy is? One of the few people I would bear a child for. But no, he was so sweet, and I was like, no, he just went to the bathroom, and he's like, yeah, you can't. He's like, what an idiot! He can't leave you here by yourself. And I was like,
you sit and pray, honey.
I was like, do I hit on you? Because I should. And he comes back from the bathroom, and like Jack and I are laughing, and he's like, all right, we got to go. And I'm like, no, we don't.
When Jack Nicholson's talking to your girl, you got to end that conversation real quick.
Nothing happened. He was so fucking boring. The date was awful. The game was.
He wasn't as good as it gets.
It was Jack was as good as it got that night.
Yeah, I bet.
But I think that's the only game I've been to of the Lakers.
If I ever get back to LA, we'll go to a Lakers game and we'll eat some nachos together.
Awesome.
That's the thing I may miss most through this entire pandemic. Nachos.
Stadium nachos.
Just movie theater nachos and pretzel bites, which I used to eat 120 times a year.
if not more.
Right.
I will say this: I don't know how the movie theaters are on the East Coast, but if there's a movie theater open, just go in and buy the food, and then leave.
I probably should.
I mean, it's so nice.
I just don't leave the house.
I mean, well, you got nieces enough. You just send them out.
You have like $10 to be able to find somebody online. There's got to be an app for that.
I mean, TaskRabbit, right? Maybe.
DoorDash it.
Is AMC or DoorDash?
It should be.
I mean, they could have.
We just gave them a great idea.
I mean, they should absolutely do that. They would make a ton of money with everybody viewing things at home. If you could get hot popcorn from an actual movie theater for your movie night, that would be amazing.
Yeah.
Like, I literally I told my mom she made like microwave popcorn. I'm like, you can't do that anymore. Like, it's triggering memories and it makes me sad. Like, do you want to make me cry? Because I'll cry.
It's not the same, the microwave popcorn, as just like the fresh popped movie theater popcorn.
It's not, but when it's the only scent that you've had in that sort of, like, in that similarity, like, you can't not lose your mind. Oh, Kaylee.
Good one.
That's awesome. I mean,
you got to see him play live.
Yeah. Chris, I would have. I was also scared. I think I was like 22 at that point. Ugh, the things I should have done at 22 with the mind of a 36-year-old.
She didn't have the same confidence.
I didn't. I should have, because I was so hot back then. God, do you ever like look back at like high school pictures and you're like, what? That's not me.
I don't know. For guys, guys tend to get better looking with age. That's why I'm trying to look older.
Oh, so this is.
I'm just hoping and praying I'll get better looking.
I was like, so this is a choice.
I'm trying to overtake Josh Makuga as heartthrob of the movie trivia Schmodown.
I mean, Makuga is he's got that short hair now.
Who is the heartthrob of the movie trivia Schmodown? Is it Brandon Hanna with all of his like?
I can't say that now. After living with him, I can't say that. Although he does, if he brushes it out and wears the right shirt, he looks just like Bob Ross, and it's amazing. It's so good. I was joking to him. I was like, "You need to dress like him for Halloween this year. Like, do not cut your hair." I don't know who would be the heartthrob.
The heartthrob of the Schmodown.
I mean, Bateman and Guy are attractive guys.
Is it always going to be Mark Ellis? Isn't that just who girls want deep down?
I mean, yeah. A guy who can make you laugh.
Would you say Bateman and Guy?
Sign me up.
Bateman and Guy. Bateman is an attractive guy, but he also strikes me as a virgin.
Wait, did you say Bateman strikes you as a virgin?
Sure.
Knowing who your manager is, you should know.
I know he's not, but he still strikes me as one.
He just has that virgin energy. Bateman, I love you so much.
Big virgin energy.
Please do not make that a hashtag, guys. I'm begging you, don't do it.
Get it started right now.
If you do, just make sure and share the video.
And Andrew Guy is a good-looking guy. It's too bad he's stuck playing some crazy-looking, like, insane person.
My mom met him and was instantly charmed by him. Like, I left for like 30 seconds to go pee and like ran back into the studio, and like Bateman and Guy is sitting next to my mom, and she is blushing.
Do both of those guys have dimples? Is that it?
Yeah.
Does Guy has a dimple, right?
I think Bateman's got dimples on both sides.
Why are we calling these guys the action guys? We should be calling them the dimple boys. The dimple dudes.
Dimple dudes is a cute choice. Could we dress them up like the Tweedles? It would be so adorable.
Whatever floats your boat, Switchblade.
It would just be adorable. I'm just thinking of the optics. No, I don't know. Everybody in this whole league is just like a giant brother to me.
Are there any rookies? I'm trying to think.
Well, there was one that was like, I'm the hottest thing in here. And I was like, I mean, you're cute and everything, but like, calm down.
I can't keep track of them all, so
I can't either. Although he does look like a weird, like, I can't remember his name, but he looks like a weird amalgamation between like Ben Bateman and like Paul Preston.
Oh, I think I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. He like wears like the sunglasses, and I'm like, like we wore them in studio because it was very bright lights in our eyes, and like it helped our character. Like, you're okay.
Somewhere, somehow, Roke is taking offense to this entire conversation. He's just like, obviously, it's the outlaw.
I mean, obviously, just that cowboy hat,
Right.
or is it the mask?
He's the man in black. Black slimming.
It's so slimming. Makes everybody look good. I mean, everybody knows who my favorite player in this Schmodown is, and that's.
Oh wait, I don't think I know that.
Really? Knowing me, you can't guess my favorite player.
No.
Kevin fucking Smith is my favorite player in all of this.
Okay.
I'm not saying he's the best. He does have a winning record, like I do not. However,
you've got a tougher strength of schedule.
Oh yeah. I'm 0-3. I'm all uphill from here.
Yeah, Kevin Smith. Hey, God bless him. I love the man.
And he's quick and witty and funny. And there's a video out there where he promised me a job, so I would really love to find that somewhere and just tweet it out to him and be like, "Hey, remember that job you offered me?"
You know my Kevin Smith story?
I'm sorry?
You know my Kevin Smith story?
I do not. How do I not know this?
I don't know. It was the day I quit the rap.
Okay.
To go back to Variety. And I got a call from Kevin's assistant asking me to come over to his house to film an episode of his podcast.
Oh, okay.
And he lived in Affleck's old house at like the foot of the Hollywood Hills. And I went over there, and it was like the greatest 3 hours of my life. We just smoked weed the entire time. Did a 2.5 hour podcast. This was around like Red State when he took it to Sundance for the bidding war and everything. And I think I'd interviewed him at like our studio. I've interviewed Kevin at a bunch of these sort of festival studios. And anyways, he didn't do anything with the tape. I waited months for this to come out, and I think he recorded an episode with me and an episode with Kim Masters, who's at the Hollywood Reporter, and he shelved both tapes. So he's doing it.
That's so sad.
Yeah.
I would just be like, can I just get it for me? Like, can I just have that for me so I can listen to it and know that that's not just like a fever dream of mine?
I mean, like to have someone like that for me, because like I know he's like your favorite. He's certainly up there for me, and just like shaped part of like my sense of humor for sure.
Oh yeah.
And have him reach out and want to taste something so long at his own house. I was just like, I can't even believe this.
Yeah, I mean that was like one of the things that I tried to talk Coin to. I'm like, so you need to draft me to the Mercs. And you need to team me up with Kevin because we need to do study sessions in person. And that's all I want in life. And then I will die and you guys can never, it's fine.
What is this though, Switchblade? Okay. You got to explain this to me. Okay. What is this? We're going to have a faction team practice. Like, I mean, this is a level of intensity and commitment that I have not quite seen before in this league.
From me or just in general? Because we were doing that last year with the dad.
I know people were studying, but this is like a level of organization now. I don't know. It's just it's a lot. It's a lot.
It is a lot. But you have a lot. Don't you guys have a lot of rookies on your team?
Yeah, and they're like as hungry as anybody. Like that's what I love about rookies.
They're super hungry. They're super grateful, and they have been. This is like something that they've been working towards for forever. So they're the ones that come in with like these amazing spreadsheets and like gameplay ideas.
You're right. Like, I've never approached the game like that before, though.
It's fun. I think it's really enjoyable to like hear their side of it because you've been in this for forever, and this is my third season, 3, 4. I can't keep track. I think it's 3. And like it's just one of those things that like we've been in this for so long that like. Having an outsider, like a fresh perspective, I think it's really interesting to like get that energy into action.
I appreciate how the game has grown. It almost started out as like, okay, who's the smartest guy at movie trivia in this room or person? Yeah. And now it's sort of just developed into this, like, who can study the hardest, who's developed the best study technique and is ready for anything. It's just like, is that like I don't watch movies like thinking, well, that could be a trivia question, and I fear that is how the league has started to watch movies. And I think it sort of contributes to the overall movie literacy of where we are today. I mean, quite frankly,
I mean, I think it's helped a lot of people because I think a lot of people who like as fans who watch the league are like movie fans. But like, I think that with the questions that get brought up about certain movies, when we do like classics or festival darlings or something like that, it brings these new movies to light for these people to be like, oh, that sounds like an interesting movie. Maybe I'll check that out. And it was never on the radar. So like, Peggy, I love you so much.
It definitely nurtures that passion for movies. Peggy's working on notes. Peggy, send me the notes.
No, she's on my faction. She is an Amazon like me. We are going to.
You want to be a star, kid. You got to be a double agent. Be a spy.
No. She's a lioness. But I also think that I said this. I can't remember which interview I said this on, but I remember watching the show and like being so excited because there would be those questions that get asked about somebody's like favorite movie and their face would light up. And they would just sit there and laugh about something that they would remember from the movie and like take joy in answering it. and wanting to like talk about it. Like you could see it in their eyes. They're just like, but can we talk about this question for a few minutes? Because it's so funny, or it's so important, or this is something that you should know. And I kind of miss that aspect of it a little bit. I think the pendulum swung from one extreme to the other, and I think it's on its way back, and it's starting to settle into a nice like medium of like study and find out all the facts versus like pure enjoyment and love of cinema.
Here's what I'm looking forward to. I think that you're going to get a lot of like veteran matches and then rookie matches to start.
Yeah.
And that is going to be tough for the veterans. Like, I think a lot of some of us, could be me, just start out like 0-2 or 0-3 because the competition that we're having to face is just crazy. And I think their rookie tool suddenly emerge at 3-0 because, they faced some other rookies. But when they start to meet and you start to see the veterans and the rookies play, and you see whether the new generation is better than the old generation, that's going to be an interesting thing.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I kind of wish that they had done Anarchy like now to like do like vets versus rookies, or like every team would be a combination of a vet and rookie. I think that would be fun.
That can be a special month or like a special tournament that they decide to do the same way summer camp had Army Navy Day, and then there was Summer War and things like that, tournament day. So I could see Christian experimenting with that kind of stuff. I think it's all going to depend on how the season breaks out, whether belts are exchanged. But I do think that age plays a real factor in this game. And the older you are, the more movies you've had a chance to see and that kind of thing. And a lot of these rookies are young, and I think it may work against them.
So do you think age is an advantage versus a
absolutely
detriment?
I mean, that's why I've always respected people like Bibbiani, and not that Bibbiani's like 2 years older than me, but him and McWeeny and Alonzo and some people who I know have been watching movies for like 20 plus years. Some of these guys coming into the league are like barely 20 years old.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we've had that for the last few seasons, like.
And Oyama's amazing too, and the kid is amazing, he's definitely among our better players, but at the same time, I will always value, I think, that kind of experience that the older crowd has, even Roka included. Yeah.
It's always interesting to see where people's knowledge base, like no matter what their age is, because like I know that I think Oyama has like a really good handle on like the classics and stuff like that. Like he has a really good handle on like 60s and 70s movies, and I'm like, your dad was a child when that was made. Like, how? Like, why? Why?
I mean, I don't know what it's like growing up in Hawaii, whether you're just out at the beach every day or if he's the type of kid who's inside watching movies while everybody else was out on the beach. I don't know.
Yeah. It is one of my favorite states to visit. God, that place is beautiful.
But like, him and the kid are very, very, very good. Maybe it's a memory thing. I mean, shit, the older that you get, the more your memory starts to fade. I know McWeeny has probably forgotten more than he could ever remember.
Oh yeah.
And when you're young, those synapses are just firing, you can bring things up.
Yeah. I mean, with Chance was the youngest belt holder, and then didn't Oyama take that over like a week later or something like that? There is something to be said for like young and hungry and like like you said, having those synapses flying, but like they each had Chance had Mike, and Mike is no spring chicken. Mike is older than us, so I feel okay saying that. But like, I mean,
Mike Kalinowski looks great. If he's 39 or older, he looks great.
You know what? I think he's the stud of the league, honestly, because like Mike Kalinowski looks really good for his age.
I could certainly see that. I mean,
yeah, he's letting that gray grow in. It's like,
believe me, with all the matches with Shannon, my dad kept asking about Shannon.
Shocker. You're like, she would kill you. I love Shannon. She's so great. Okay,
that's
so we talked.
Good answer though, Kalinowski for heartthrob. Yeah, he's definitely got the Captain America square jaw.
He does, but he also has that like that. There's that like that glint in the eye of like
a little sparkle, a little mischief.
Like you're a little shit sometimes, aren't you? Yeah, you are. Like, yeah, you're a little shifty. Okay,
Mm-hmm. Likes Indiana Jones's whip a little too much.
No such thing. Just put that bomb on, you'll be fine. So we've covered
we've covered kinky sex. Moving on.
Covered movies. So what are some of your favorite bands to listen to?
They're all right behind me.
Can't...
We got Metallica.
Perfect.
Radiohead. 9 Inch Nails. Weezer. Smashing Pumpkins. I'm like a 90s alternative guy. So yeah, that's what I grew up with. I like Interpol, Modest Mouse.
Okay.
Yeah, Wolf Parade.
Oh my God, I have not heard that name in ages.
Boom. Janelle turned me on to a lot of bands in college because she had excellent taste in music, along with our friend Morgan. They were, that was that NorCal sound.
Yeah, every time you say Janelle, I'm like, you mean JJ?
JJ, we did call her JJ at times.
Yeah, it's so funny when I greeted her, her mom, like, I literally walked into the house and I'm like, oh my God, JJ, it's so good to see you. And her mom was like, oh my God, I forgot we called her JJ. And I was like, that's all I know her.
There's only one JJ to me, and it's not even JJ Abrams. It's JJ from Coco Melon. Now that I have a baby niece, believe me, I spend all day with JJ.
I love it. So what was your first concert?
First concert that I attended with my family was the Turtles. You know the Turtles?
I do know the Turtles. I have their album.
Yeah, their greatest hits is amazing. The Turtles are great. Still listen to them. My first concert alone with friends was probably Goo Goo Dolls.
Who opened for them?
It was like one of those like Mix 98.5 or Kiss FM concerts. So I'm forgetting if they were the opening act or if they were. I don't quite remember. But it was someone that you would not be surprised was sharing a bill with Goo Goo Dolls.
That's fair. I got my ass grabbed by Johnny one night at the hotel.
Really?
Yeah. I went to take a picture with him, and there's somewhere that there's this great photo. I cannot find it. But
am I terrible for just saying nice, by the way? I'm like, oh, Johnny grabbed your ass? Nice. I'm so sorry you were sexually assaulted.
We were talking for a while. It was really funny, but the photo is hilarious because it literally, like, I went and, like, you put your arms around each other or whatever, because this was the mid 2000s. So you could still touch people and not have everybody freak out.
It was Johnny Resnick, right?
It's Johnny Resnick, yeah.
Yeah.
And it was Butch Walker and Friends night at the Hotel Cafe, and it was like he was there, and I think he did it because his ex was there, because Vanessa Carlton was there as well, and she performed and he performed, and I was walking back to the bathroom, and he was there with a whole bunch of like friends, and I knew a few of them, so like I stopped to chat with them, and I put my arm around him, and he puts his arm around me, and my friend is taking the photo. This is like a film camera, not a phone camera, because it's mid 2000s. And as my friend counts down 3, 2, 1, he pinches my ass as he takes the photo. So there's this great photo of Johnny grinning and me going, oh! It's so funny. But again, like, it's one of those things.
You think he did it for the photo? It wasn't just because you got a great ass. He's got his hand all the way up it.
I mean, I was in my early 20s, so it was still at that point a great ass, but still, it's just such this great photo. I need to find it somewhere. It's somewhere buried, but it's so great.
I wish I had photos of me being having my ass pinched by some pop star.
I mean, it's not too late.
I will tell you, one time I did. I went to see Bush. And Gavin Rossdale came into like the balcony, and I found myself like going over to like try to like touch him like everybody else, and I caught myself halfway. I'm like, what am I doing? Dude,
he's so pretty. I had the biggest crush on him when like Machine Head was on MTV in like constant rotation, and I was so crushing hard on him. That's when he and Gwen were still together, and I was like, oh, he's so beautiful. And then I found out that he was like 5'4", and I was like, all right. He's still attractive.
What, you got a problem with short guys there, Switchblade? I'll stand up for us short guys, okay?
Oh, no. I call them my climbers because they look at me and they go,
That's right. I'm
They
climbing
can
that
reach the
mountain.
top.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not against them, but just once I would really like to like be lifted.
They got something to prove. They're
Like,
eager to please.
I want to wear heels and not have them be like nipple height.
Why? What? But why? Don't you love that idea of just like standing and dominating some man?
That's been my entire adult life.
I guess. So you want to be like a Big Ben Roethlisberger type.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yes.
Okay.
100%.
I got to work on that.
I've had my fair share of like boyfriends that were, my height or shorter than me. Like a ton of them. When I was 15, I had a boyfriend who had to get up on his tiptoes to kiss me, and it was really adorable.
That's pretty cute.
It was.
I
cute.
round up when I say I'm 5'9". I round up a little bit.
Yeah, I round down. People are like, "How tall are you?" I'm like, "I'm 5'9". Sure, let's just say 9. 5'9". I'm 5'10".
So wait, do you have your first match yet?
No.
Okay.
No, I'm 0-3 in singles, and I probably am not playing with Ben this season. So it's one of those like, who knows? We're taking it as we come because we've got a lot of matches in the den coming up. So we're prepping for them as a group and individually, making sure that we're there to support whoever needs the support, however they need it. So yeah. So my studying is that. My studying is helping them study, and that's helping my game. And then we'll figure it out.
Well, Roxy checks in on me daily. She wakes me up. A poem each day.
Wait, so she's your Mike Wazowski?
Yeah, no, she's wonderful, and we are preparing for Dan Murrell, dangerous Dan Murrell.
I mean, you got to prepare for Dan.
I heard he's been studying really hard. I think he's getting a little nervous.
I mean, to be fair, he's in Arkansas. And even if there wasn't an apocalypse happening outside right now, there's still not a lot to do in Arkansas.
Yeah, he's just mainlining movies too.
Yeah.
All right, Dan Murrell.
Don't cut a promo on my fucking show. That's not what this is.
I know. I'm like eating Doritos. All right. We're focused.
Yeah, we'll focus. So, so your first band was first official concert that you wanted to see was Goo Goo Dolls. What was your favorite concert that you've ever been to?
I saw Radiohead at Madison Square Garden and smoked a joint inside Madison Square Garden. That was pretty fun.
Off.
I've been to some good Interpol shows, some good Modest Mouse shows.
Modest Mouse puts on a hell of a show. Their lighting guy is epic.
Yeah, I just like their intensity, and I like, the gloominess of Interpol. I mean, but then, then there are concerts like Bruce Springsteen, where it's like a totally different affair. It's twice as long. It's a stadium, and you're with all your high school guys. Like, they're not fucking coming to see Interpol or Modest Mouse with me. They think that shit's weird. But Bruce Springsteen is something everybody can sort of get behind, at least if you're from the Northeast.
Yeah.
And so that was a good one too. It's tough. It's tough to say. But I never seen Metallica live. I never saw the Stones. Never saw fucking Allman Brothers, which was a big one, or Paul McCartney. Dave Matthews was a big one when I was a kid.
Oh, I know.
Dave, yeah.
I'm very well aware of how big of Dave Matthews was when we were in high school.
Yeah.
They actually had they were at the Shoreline Amphitheater for 2 nights. And the first night was the night of our senior prom.
Mm-hmm.
And we took like this steamboat. It was supposed to look like one of those old school steamboats, like out into the bay. And it was high tide, so we got super far south into the bay. So we were able to get close to Shoreline and like convince the captain to drop anchor, and like the entire dance floor emptied and everybody went out onto the balcony. We listened to Dave Matthews Band for like 15 minutes. And then they like pulled up anchor and we went about the rest of our prom. And then the next night was his second night. So our entire senior class hung over and partied out, showed up back at Shoreline all together, partied again in the parking lot, and then went in and like took over a massive chunk of the lawn. And that was our like day after prom party was Dave Matthews.
That sounds awesome. Did he cover all along the Watchtower?
Of course he did.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah. I think my favorite song, though, is Crash.
Crash is great.
Crash
I love the Stone. I mean, Two Step. They're all great.
Gray. Yeah.
Andy in the chat is saying a settle the score Kevin Smith special with Silvestrini and Sneider. I don't know about a Kevin Smith special. That sounds like it's in her favor. I mean, I don't even know what you would put on. Like, I don't really think of Kevin Smith as a great movie soundtrack guy, to be honest.
Yeah, I would love to do that, but I mean, Andy, you know I love you. Let's do the Disney one or the musical one.
Disney? No, now it's just definitely not fair because I can do Suzanne. You're all that I wanted of a girl.
God, have you seen Weezer live?
Yes, a bunch of times.
The only Weezer show I've ever gone to, I ended up leaving early because Dashboard Confessional.
Must be 10 minutes in because a Weezer concert is like 45 minutes tops. They play like 20 songs in 45 minutes.
Yeah, Dashboard Confessional was opening for them, and
we go scream infidelities.
I love Dashboard Confessional so much. I literally went and saw them in Dallas. I took the night off of my tour because we were in Dallas for 2 weeks, and I told my assistant, I'm like, you are working this night. I am taking off. I am going to a concert. And they were like, well, what are you going to go see? I'm like, Dashboard Confessional.
Dashboard was for basic bitches.
Hello. But I was like, don't you dare ask who that is, because if you do, I'm gonna have to fire you. Please don't ask who Dashboard Confessional is. And a friend of mine flew in from out of town and stayed with me in the hotel, and we went to go see it. Found out that his sound guy was one of another Warped Tour alumni, so we got to hang out in the sound booth at the House of Blues Dallas instead of standing. But it was the most amazing. It was, the crowd was just everybody, and I don't think anybody was under 27. There was no moshing, no aggressiveness. Everybody threw their arms around each other and hugged each other and were swaying and singing. It was group therapy, and it was amazing.
Sounds fun. Sounds like you were on some good drugs.
I wish. No.
Not for Dashboard. You have to be stone cold sober to appreciate the beauty.
You need to, it's group therapy. You can't be, you just let everything out. You just scream it out. Felt like I was 16 again. Yes, Juniper. I mean, Dave knew how to write a fucking song.
Guys, Silvestrini's got to pay the rent here. I want $5 super chats. I want $6 super chats. I will tell you who is going to be the next Superman.
Oh shit, guys! Yeah, if you have any questions, fucking super.
Mark Riley,
Streamlabs down there.
Mark Riley is screen testing for the role right
now. He should be. Actually, somebody recommended. Somebody posted on the Facebook page that was let's make up teams and team names because I'm really good at that. And he was like, I'll start first. Riley and Silvestrini. Their name, Supercuts.
Okay.
I was like, I'm down for that.
I like it.
I'm down. We both have good hair, and it's a combination of our nicknames. It's fun.
Boom.
But no, I love that. So you said, so what if you could put a concert together to go see when this ends, dead or alive? Who would you want to go see?
Metallica.
Just Metallica.
Yeah, Metallica.
3 hours of Metallica.
Metallica. Who would open for Metallica?
Metallica.
Dead or alive, you said?
Yeah, dead or alive.
I might have Nirvana opening for Metallica. That's right. Nirvana opens for Metallica. Oh man, Pearl Jam is up there though. I've never seen Pearl Jam either. That's a big tragic fault of mine. But Metallica, plus I got a chance to interview Lars during the pandemic. I felt embarrassed that I was I'm your biggest fan who's never seen you live. But they always played in the summer, and I was always at summer camp playing softball with the kids who can't tie their shoes right. No, I missed it.
Nice callback. Yeah, I've never seen Metallica live either, but I did get in a snowball fight with them when I was 11.
Okay, I'd like that story, please.
Okay. guys, you've heard this one before, but Jeff has not. So I was very big in my church youth group when I was little.
For snowball throwing.
And every winter, one of the families who had a kid in the youth group would give us their cabin in South Lake Tahoe to go and stay at for a week, and we would do like a ski trip and all that stuff. So we pull in to the neighborhood off the main road, and as soon as we turn left into the street, there's a house right, like you turn left and then there's another street and you have to like turn left or right, and the house right in front of it at the end of the turn had like 4 stretch limos in the driveway. And I turned to my friend whose cabin we were going to, and I was like, oh my God, like what's going on? Who is that? And she goes, oh, I don't know. It's some band, some Metallica. I was like, Metallica? She's like, yeah. And I was like, oh my God. So like word spread. Everybody knew. And they were like, the parents were really strict about like, you know, we were busy all day, and then at night it got super dark. Like you weren't allowed outside by yourself, like obviously. So we couldn't like go and like knock on their door. But the day that we left, we would always have, it was like tradition. We would wake up early and we would have a snowball fight, and then it would be like an hour later, and then we would leave. Mm-hmm. So if we had a snowball fight, everybody would have time to change like their clothes into dry clothes, and then we would leave. And so everybody's getting ready, and there's like me and like 3 or 4 guys like in their early teens, and we like made this plan early on, and we were like, we're gonna go invite Metallica to our snowball fight. So everybody's getting ready. We sneak out of the house, walk down half a block to the house, and we knock on the door, and it's like me and like three guys. The door opens, and there was just this massive security guard who like took up the entire doorway. This giant black man looks down at me and he goes, "Can I help you?" And I turn around, and all of the guys had run away. And I was like, my friends and I are going to have a snowball fight, and we just wanted to know if you guys wanted to join us. And he's like, that's really sweet, but I don't think. And James like pulls him aside and he goes, "What was that?" And I invited them to the snowball fight, and he goes, "We'll be outside in 20 minutes. And like the guys came out and like had a snowball fight with us, and it was fucking amazing.
Who won? Who was the best of the 4? I want the scoop.
I got thrown into a snowbank by Lars. I got hit.
You download something on Napster.
It was like a fake like choke slam, like in wrestling. He like picked me up and was like, "Ah!" and like threw me into a snowbank, and I like disappeared because it was like
on brand. Okay, continue.
James hit me in the face with a snowball. And everybody was super fun and super kind about it. And then like the snowball fight lasted maybe like a half hour, and then
I just want to see tomorrow's headline: Rachel Silvestrini, Metallica's James Hetfield hit me in the face. ... with a snowball.
It was just this sweet little like moment in time, and then like we had to end it, and the parents were a little like weirded out at first because like they didn't know.
Absolute horror.
Yeah, they were like, what are these grown men coming out like and playing and like throwing our children into snowbanks and like
should have called the cops on their dirty asses, those old men from Metallica.
Right. Yeah, I mean James still had his like Beauty and the Beast like haircut, and it was just big and wild with like the chops. But it was amazing. It was so much fun. What are you laughing at?
I'm just picturing like 4 like tatted up like metal dudes playing with little kids, and the parents are like, "Honey, should we be stepping in here?
Should we call the cops?"
They didn't go to jail, honey. They're in a stretch limo, living in a mansion around the corner.
One dad got super excited when they came out because they were like, "Where's Rachel?" And I was like, "I'm here." They're like, "Yeah, you invited us," and we were like, "Yeah, grab your snowballs, let's go." And like one of the dads was like, "Oh my God!" He like fangirled out. It was so adorable.
Yeah, my babysitter got me into Metallica when I was a kid, and I got a chance to thank her in the lead for the Lars Ulrich interview. I was like, and I sent it to her, and she was just like, imagine being some like 30-year-old woman, 38-year-old woman, whatever it is, and you used to babysit some kid who's now interviewing Metallica, and they're talking about you. It's so weird.
That's pretty awesome. We did have a Streamlabs come in, by the way. It's from Kaylee. It says, fun times listening tonight. Also, Rachel loving the Zoe recaps. Congrats on Player of the Year, Jeff. Yes, we are going to get to that in just a second.
Oh, okay.
But yes, no, the Zoe recaps are super
This was
fun.
the only reason I came on was to talk about how amazing I am.
I mean, obviously, not to talk to me.
Right.
You haven't seen in like 9 months.
Ask me more questions about Player of the Year.
Let's talk about me and how great I am.
Ask me how many pounds of eating Doritos during this interview.
We don't talk numbers like that.
Good.
Because if you share, I have to share, and that's not happening. But yeah, no, it was honestly, it's one of the most amazing like memories that I have is getting to be in a Snowball Fight with Metallica.
Sweet.
Yeah, my life is weird like that.
I wasn't rocking that snowball, yeah. That's
yeah. Took it right to the face. Wait, what?
Yeah.
Oh, fucking Metallica. No, I did. I've never seen Pearl Jam either, but I did get to sell. Oh my god, why am I blanking on his name? Who's the lead singer of Pearl Jam?
Eddie Vedder.
Eddie Vedder. I did get to sell Eddie and his daughter merchandise for Beauty and the Beast when we were in Seattle, and he came out with her like right before intermission, and I was like, "You're Eddie Vedder."
I didn't know if you were going door to door in those days with Beauty and the Beast merch.
Excuse me, sir. Would you like
this plate's a collectible?
No, it was very sweet, but it like he didn't. I didn't instantly recognize him. I was like, he looks so familiar. Like, do I know this guy? And then like he gave me his credit card, and it was like E. Vedder, and I was like, I'm so sorry, but there's no signature on this. I have to check your ID. And he looks at me, and I go, it's the law. I'm really sorry. I'm like, I promise I'm not going to stalk you.
Like, how's this? Even flow.
Off the road like butter off the... Oh, I fucking love him. There's literally no place better to do that song in karaoke than in Seattle just to hear all of the locals groan. People get so angry when you do those songs there. It's great. But yeah, he was very sweet.
Are you a Radiohead person?
I'm sorry?
Are you a Radiohead person?
I am, yeah. Like, I wasn't a giant fan, but like every time I hear their songs come on like Spotify or something, I'm like, oh, yes.
I could only listen to one band for the rest of my life. I think I'd go with Radiohead.
Really? Interesting. I think I would just have to stick with Butch Walker because he's my favorite person
of
all time. Have you heard his stuff?
No.
Do you know who he is?
No.
Highly recommend it because
I have heard of Butch Walker. I just don't know his stuff.
Yeah, because he was in an early 90s band called Marvelous 3, and they had a song called Freak of the Week, which it's one of those songs that if you
about you? Like, did they write that song about you?
Shut the front door. Tequila Makes My Clothes Come Off. That's the song that was written about me.
Oh, okay. I knew it was one of the two. Freak of the Week or the tequila song.
It's one or the other. That's why I don't drink tequila anymore.
You and Tom Brady.
Oh, don't put me in a fucking category with that douche nozzle. That's not cool. I thought we were
Did you see him wasted yesterday on avocado tequila?
First of all, avocado tequila is really delicious. Secondly, I just want to punch him in the throat. It's fine.
I've heard it all. My dad's girlfriend did. I almost disinvited her from watching the Super Bowl. I was like, I can't have this Tom Brady negativity around us, but I understand it. I overlook it.
Well, it's fun to be able to put on blinders like that. No, he's great. Yeah, he is very talented. He is very good at what he does. He's just a trash human being.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
Well, he wasn't Player of the Year. That was Aaron Rodgers.
Was he?
Yeah.
I just focused on the big games at this point because I'm still trying to get used to the fact that I can actually watch an entire a season of like sports because I could never do that while I was on tour for like the last 17 years. So it's one of those things that I'm like, oh wait, I can actually follow a team now. Like I can have a team and like watch all their games and like talk intelligently about their players and their coaching staff. Whereas before I was like,
games don't get much bigger than me versus Dan Murrell.
That's true. That's true. Let's talk about you and Dan. So you did very, very much earn the Player of the Year last year. That was fucking phenomenal.
I mean, the numbers say otherwise, but who am I to argue with the fans?
Well, it's not just the fans, the fans and the players and
Christian. Thank you to my fellow competitors.
Yeah, I voted for you.
Collins is great. He's scary good, but he's going to have the opportunity to win a lot of these awards.
It's true.
I clearly peaked last year, and we'll never repeat it. But
it is all downhill from here. You should just like bronze the award. Like people do with like their babies.
You know what? I have not shown off the awards yet.
Oh, well, let's see them.
We can do the debut right here.
Oh, guys, it's the first.
We have.
Oh, look at that.
Couple, and then the Player of the Year award.
Yeah, look at that. They used a good picture too.
Boom.
They used your is that your Weezer shirt?
It is. It's my Weezer shirt. So one day I'm sure I'll sign those and sell them at a garage sale in the middle of some kind of Schmodown event.
That was probably my favorite thing about last year's Spectacular.
Hey,
or a few seasons ago, I guess at this point.
Now that we're all getting rich playing the Schmodown, I won't have to do that. But
I know, right? I'm so excited to
now that we're all getting paid like the Walking Dead cast members.
Just gonna, gold plate my microphone and like never come on my show again because I'm making so much money.
That's why I'm living with Dad.
That's why I live with Mom. We're winning at life. Cheers.
Oh, man.
Everything's coming up roses. Now, what is a movie that you wish that they would ask more about in the Schmodown?
Backdraft.
Wow!
I was ready for that one. Backdraft. Ransom and any early Ron Howard movie. I don't
know. Every time somebody says Ransom, we used to watch Ransom and Payback would always play like back to back on like TBS.
Mm-hmm.
And like Payback was my dad's angry movie. Like if you walked into the living room and saw Dad watching Payback, you just very carefully and quiet
back
out without making eye contact or any noise. Do you have one of those movies that like you just watch when you're feeling like in a really like angry, aggressive mood?
No, I can't say that I do.
No?
I don't think so. I'm not a very angry or aggressive person by nature, even though other people would think otherwise.
You're not angry. I mean, aggressive.
Very.
Yes.
I don't know. I mean, I watch Drive a lot. Is there something wrong with me? I watch Silence of the Lambs and Seven and Heat. I watch those like 2-3 times a year.
I think my angry movie is definitely oh my god, it just went right out of my brain because I like looked at the Thomas Crown Affair and I love that movie. Sorry, I have a shelf of movies right here at my left.
Ooh.
I think Fight Club is my angry movie.
Okay.
It just makes me feel better after I watch it.
So okay, so that is something like aggressive. I didn't know if you were going to go in like some comfort food comedy girl, some chick flick type of movie.
No. If I'm feeling pissed off and I want to like rip somebody's throat off, I mean, you have to remember I am Sicilian.
That's right. Oh,
so
that just said so much.
The fire needs to burn itself out. You don't put it out. You need to let it burn itself out. Like
wow, okay.
I'm one of those like if you feel something, feel it until you don't need to feel it anymore. Like don't wallow, but like let yourself feel the feelings, Like dig deep. Star Drew. No, it's the Pierce Brosnan version. That I have on DVD. It's right here. I mean, I love the Sony's version, but this version is amazing. It's so
the Pierce Brosnan story?
Yes, please.
Pierce Brosnan. This is no joke. I've said it for the last 15 years. the best smelling human being I've ever smelled.
Interesting.
Pierce Brosnan.
Okay.
Smells like a bar of Irish soap.
I have yet to smell him, but I think that the person that I've met multiple times who has maintained this amazing smell level is Jensen Ackles.
Oh, okay.
From Supernatural. He smells like wood smoke and whiskey and coconuts.
Ooh, that reminds me of the soap that Bibiani's wife made me.
Dude, did you get soaps too?
I got, he sent me some soaps for Christmas. Him and his lovely wife, Miss Lopez de Silva.
Mm-hmm.
And it was wonderful. I'm going to custom order more because, they put out a certain number of soaps, right, each month.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that I have to wait if you order custom.
Yeah. I don't think you would have to, but yeah.
This manly, it was like a bonfire with like cinnamon. I just felt like a fucking man.
I love those. Like, you smell like anything that describes itself as like leather and fire smoke. I'm like,
fuck yeah.
It's like, it's just one of those instant, just like, everybody has like those memories tied to smell. Like smell is the closest thing you can.
Right. No. Yeah.
Memory. And like, it instantly just like sends me right back to like my senior year of high school because we would just do midnight trips from San Jose to Santa Cruz, and like we would steal
like where the vampires are.
Yeah. Well, Santa Clarita or Santa Carla, but it was filmed in Santa Cruz.
That's what I thought. Okay.
Yeah. But I was like so mad
with Martha's Vineyard and
I was
Island.
I was so mad. They did like a 20 or 25 year anniversary of The Boys, and like they did a screening on the beach in Santa Cruz, like at the boardwalk, and like both of the Coreys were there to like introduce it and do a Q&A afterwards, and I missed it coming home by like 3 days from tour.
I died the following week.
So angry.
I remember being at Variety. Corey Haim took out an ad. Okay, it was incredible. It was like, I'm here, I'm ready, and I'm willing to work. It was something like to that effect, and it was the picture. It was just like, you had to see this thing to believe it.
In my head, he's doing the Buddy Christ.
I have to look this up right now.
Please do, and screen share it, because in my head, Corey Haim is doing the.
I'm not going to screen share, but you talk. I'll even take 2 seconds.
That's fair. No, I love going. I love going to. That was one of the things that I absolutely loved with traveling for work, was getting to go to all of these crazy spots in the U.S. where they would film things, and like you would get to go down to like New Orleans and visit, spots where they film certain movies in New Orleans. And then like, we went to Oregon, and I got to go to the Goonies house. Mm-hmm. We rented a car when we were in Portland and drove out to the Goonies house. They have like the street marked off, but we lied and said that my aunt lived up the street, and I like apparently used some last name of somebody that actually lived there. And I was like, yes, luck is on my side. But it was great. We had to go up. We befriended the people who owned the house, and it was fun. But yeah, I really, really appreciated that aspect of the show. I've been to the Christmas Story house I don't know how many times. Outside of Cleveland. You got it?
Yes, I did get it.
Click share screen.
Okay, hold on. I gotta see if I can get this like full screen here. All right.
I'm so excited to see this.
All right. Share screen.
I forgot about the Two Coreys reality show, Peggy. That's hilarious.
How do I?
If you go to share, and then it'll do share screen, and then you can click, I think it should be application window.
Share screen. Application.
At the top.
Share. It says Chrome has lost permission to capture your screen.
What?
I'm gonna try one more time. One second.
Or just send it to me on Twitter and I'll share it. Oh, that's so sad.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay, I'm having trouble, but all you have to do is Google Corey Haim variety ad, okay? And it's a picture of him, and it says, "This is not a stunt. I'm back. I'm ready to work. I'm ready to make amends." Corey Haim.
Oh my God. I got it. Hold on.
Yeah, it's incredible. By the way, Corey Haim and Lucas, tremendous performance.
Dude, that's a movie that doesn't get asked about enough, honestly, or discussed in general.
Yeah, I love Lucas. But no, we need more questions about the Dark Crystal. We need more questions about...
Oh, yeah, I like Dark Crystal.
It's the same 7 80s movies we ask about. What in a Fish Called Wanda?
I actually just rewatched that movie for the first time in like 25 years, and I forgot how fun that is.
Man, the 80s, those were rough days.
The 80s were rough days. All right, I think I've got it. Let me see if I can share screen on this because it is hilarious. Cocoon and Flight. You know what? Flight of the Navigator is something that does not get asked about enough. Did you grow up watching Flight of the Navigator?
No, I was not a Sneider household favorite.
Oh, I loved that movie.
I think I saw it once when I was a kid, but didn't stick.
Is that the one?
That is the one. This is not a stunt. Just that face, which is like, I hate to say it. I mean, it's meth face, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that is like an incredible photo to run alongside this text in Variety, and pay no doubt $25,000 for the privilege.
Oh yeah, I like that it's not like just like typed Corey Haim. It's like an autograph with the heart over
you see the sincerity, and then it's Corey at CoreyHaim.tv. R.I.P. Corey Haim. I hate to speak ill of the dead. You were great. You were great.
He was amazing.
Had some demons.
He gifted us some amazing things, like the Frogger Brothers.
Right. The Frogger Brothers.
Yeah.
The Frog Brothers.
Frog Brothers.
That would be an epic JTE style answer on the show.
Dude,
the Frogger Brothers.
I've had some amazing JTE things come out, like Mila Jovanovic instead of Mila. Like they literally paused. I answered. I was like Mila Jovanovic, and they're like, and like they looked over to. I remember it was I think it was my match against Roca, because I remember looking over and seeing Sam and Rachel sitting in the front, like you know where we're sitting, like, and we.
You had a match against Roca?
Yeah, that was my second singles match. It was round 1 of the singles tournament, and I took
okay.
5-pointer.
But the tournament that makes more sense. You know, he was.
Fuck you.
I was like, wait, how did that happen?
Played Roca.
Wait, what? I mean, it explains 0-3 if your losses are to like Roca, like.
My losses were my losses were to Paul Preston. Because he's first of all, he's amazing. It would have been a much closer match had I not been working on like 14 hours of sleep in the last 4 days and worked a 90-hour week. And then I lost to Roca, and then I lost to Liz Shannon Miller, who's amazing.
Those are 3 tough opponents. Like, yeah,
but it's okay because I suck and I'm 0-3. You know.
Yeah, I don't think you suck or 0-3. I think that you faced some very tough competition. And if you played someone maybe that isn't on that like A level, like a Roca, I'd like to see how you perform.
Oh, I fucking almost killed Roca. He had to answer his 5-pointer, and it was like
the 5. Damn.
Yeah, I took him to the ropes. Like it was a drag out brawl.
Do you remember what his 5-pointer was?
Do I remember? In The Big Lebowski, what musician is credited with playing Nihilist number 3?
I think that's an easy one, right?
Of fucking A. As soon as they said which musical artist, I'm like, I don't care who they're asking about. I know
Flea, right?
It is Flea. Yes. Yeah. It's super fucking easy. I'm like, freaking Roca, a 5-pointer in the realm of The Big Lebowski?
Yeah, that's an easy one.
Yeah. So he won for that.
Tough one.
5-pointer.
Luck of the draw.
What? It is luck of the draw. It is very much so. I'm going to pour myself another drink because now I'm sad. Actually, I'm not sad. It was a really good match. I'm just real sad that I lost. Wait, the drummer? No, Flea's the bass player. Flea plays bass for Red Hot Chili Peppers, and he does this method where he slaps the strings, and he was at
slapping the bass, man.
Slapping the bass. Jamaican. He would
the bass.
He would slap this. He slapped the strings so hard at this one festival that like the chunk of his thumb got cut off on the string and like
kept going, man.
Like a chunk of it fell off onto the stage, and his stagehand, like he picked it up off the stage, ran over to his stagehand, had the stagehand super glue it back on, and then he went and kept playing the rest of the fucking
set. Glue my fucking thumb back on.
Yeah, because he's a goddamn rock star.
He'd have a pocket full of thumbs. He's like, like just like a pocket full of thumb tips. Oh, that's how hard I am, bro.
Got this. I mean, Flea's great. I think Flea's been in almost more movies than almost any other musical actor.
He's been in a lot of movies.
I was actually really sad that, like, because we got the new slices released to us and everything. Like, I was really sad that
your bum Flea wasn't a slice.
I was bummed that musicians in film wasn't a slice because I would fucking kill at that.
Musicians in film, yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah. I mean, you could get, it would include not just like really shitty movies, but it would include like The Social Network because Justin Timberlake was in that. I mean, it would include also, Dogtown. But it's fine. I'll settle for that. I'll watch all of it. Every movie that Debbie Harry was in
Top in The Crow City of Angels, my favorite movie.
So metal.
I love License to Drive, Peggy Gubbins.
Yes. Oh my God. I mean, first of all, Heather Graham is a gift to us all. She's just so good.
I interviewed her for Judy Moody and the Not Bummer Summer.
Oh my God.
One of my better interviews, let me tell you. I was like, Heather Graham, tell me about your Not Bummer Summer. No, honestly, that premiere, let me tell you about this movie. This premiere. This is great.
Oh my God.
I am awful. Saturday, like 10:30 a.m. premiere at the ArcLight Hollywood. Okay, I go, I get my screening ticket and my after party ticket. I sit down, say hello to the publicist or whatever. Movie starts. I fucking run out of there. There's no fucking way I'm seeing Judy Moody in the Not Bummer Summer. I go to my buddy's house in Hollywood. We smoke weed for like an hour. I go back to the ArcLight. The movie's ending. I'm like, go back into my seat. So the publicist like sees me as if I was sitting there the whole time. I'm taken out of my mind. I go up to the roof of the ArcLight. This premiere party, it was like the greatest bar mitzvah party ever. It was like someone crawled into my brain. It was like, Jeff Sneider, what do you want to eat today? Here's pizza, nachos, and soft pretzels. It was like an ice cream bar. But I had to do the interviews before I could pick out.
While you're stoned out of your mind.
I'm just right. It was the summer. It was like a June release. So I had my sunglasses on. Thank God.
Okay.
Because you're outside. So yeah, I'm interviewing Heather Graham and her big ass sunglasses and everything. Asking about fucking Judy Moody in the Not Bummer Summer, which I definitely did not see. It was great.
Wasn't that a Judy Blume book or something like that?
Yeah, I'm telling you, that's one of the best premieres I've ever been to, even though I was only half there.
What's your favorite movie to get stoned to? Because you and we enjoy the herbs that
My grandmother's watching this. What are you doing?
Speaking openly and honestly, fuck it. Well, wait, who did you say is watching this?
Sorry, Grandma.
Oh, Grandma.
Rachel blew up my spot. Peer pressured me.
I totally did. Twisted his arm and everything. even before I met him.
That was an easy one though, and it's not The Big Lebowski. It's Dazed and Confused.
Excellent choice. Now, do you eat Funyuns while you watch it? Because I feel like it's a requirement.
No, is it a record? Do they eat Funyuns in that movie?
In Dazed and Confused. No, sorry, I was thinking of a different one. Dazed and Confused. Okay, yeah. So,
I know what you're thinking of for Funyuns. What was it?
Why can't I recall it right now? Do you suck dick for pot? I suck dick for coke. Fuck, what is that movie?
I don't know. I'm blanking.
Yeah, you do. Don't fucking lie.
I do know, but I'm drawing a blank.
Guys in the chat, throw it up there. You know what I'm half baked. Thank you, Peggy.
No, I was never a half baked guy. I'm not a How High is one of the worst movies I've ever seen.
Shut the fuck up, girls.
People love How High.
Don't stop and know. Oh, it's so much fun. I love that movie. I love How High. It makes me laugh so hard.
I'm a Dazed and Confused guy all the way.
Okay, so you know the actor that plays like the little brother that's like trying to get in with everyone with like the long, super straight, like dark hair split down the middle. Yeah,
Riley Wiggins.
A very old and dear friend of mine literally pointed out that my little sister looks just like him. Like
the only drawback in the film.
Just like him.
You know, he's kind of perfect, but yeah.
Oh, that role is perfect, and he is perfect in it.
He has that nervous. He keeps doing
nervous
thing. Maybe it is part of the character, or maybe it's just an annoying actor habit that a director should have broken early on.
I don't know. It fit the character pretty perfectly. Like you just wanted to punch him in the face, and that's exactly what he was supposed to be. He was supposed to be that annoying little brother, you know.
I remember when I had hair that I had to brush over my ear.
I'm this just in my head. I'm not even joking. I mean, I did this because I lost my mind, and I'm like, we're coming on a year. Like St. Patrick's Day might be the day that I shave my head. Like, or at least what?
You could pull it off.
I don't know. I feel like my shoulders are too broad for that with my build.
What a build it is.
It is a brick house.
No,
I love that movie. If I want to think about something or if I just want to zone out, like I love watching movies that have great soundtracks to them when I'm stoned. So like any of the Lord of the Rings movies. Braveheart makes me sad when I'm stoned. Because like I start paying attention to the actual movie of it and not just like listening to it and be like, oh, it's so pretty. Inception is fantastic.
That would be a good one, stoned.
But I think, where is it? I think my favorite one to watch when I'm stoned is Take Me Home Tonight.
Take Me Home Tonight. That was a fun premiere too. That was a Topher Grace movie. Wow. Topher
Grace. That was the movie that
who plays the female lead?
Wait, the one that Topher Grace is interested in?
The blonde girl.
Well, I mean, Anna Kendrick plays his sister.
No,
not Anna Kendrick. Sorry, Anna Faris plays his sister.
Not talking about her.
That's where she met Chris Pratt.
Who's the other one of the four?
Fuck me. I mean, in my brain, the other one of the four main characters is Dan Fogler because I am deeply in love.
Dan Fogler, fucking Topher Grace, fucking Anna Faris, and.
I can picture her face. Fuck, what is her name?
I think I know what it is.
Hold on. Okay, what's her name?
Teresa Palmer.
It is Teresa Palmer.
Boom.
See, the cover. Oh, Anna Faris was not a blonde in this. She was brunette. Interesting. No, I have a deep love for Dan Fogler though.
He is good in that.
He's great in everything, but mainly my love for him stems from, in my opinion, my favorite Star Wars movie of all time is Fanboys.
Do you think Dan Murrow would have gotten that Teresa Palmer question right?
No. No. I've loved Dan Fogler like since Fanboys. I am constantly tweeting at Kevin, the director of Fanboys, and being like, "Where's my sequel?" Like, he'll, like, post a whole bunch of things that he's working on. I'm like, "That's great and everything. I'm really excited for you, but where's my sequel?"
It might be literally the last movie on Earth to be getting a sequel.
Don't care. They did a reunion. Podcast or like show or something, and they got everybody together, and people were like, "What's with the sequel?" And somebody asked a question that I was like, "That would be fucking amazing." They were like, "What if you like even if it wasn't a Star Wars based fanboys? If it was another fandom, what fandom would you make another movie about? Right? What would you do?"
Wait, which fandom are you saying?
No, that's what I'm saying. Is like, so Fanboys was made about Star Wars.
Right.
And if they were to make a Fanboys 2, regardless of what, like, and not have it be about Star Wars fans, like, what would that fandom be? Like, would you make it about, like...
It'd be the Sneider Cut, right? It'd be a horror movie about the Sneider Cut people.
That would be really funny.
I mean,
I would really, really enjoy that, actually.
I'm trying to think what other, like, devoted, fandom there would be, like...
I mean, there's, like, Lord of the Rings and Star Trek and...
No, it wouldn't be one of those. It would be something like the Ghostbusters people are kind of weird.
That would be fun. But I don't think they have, like,
honestly,
a fandom that they go up against.
The Uncharted people have been around a long time.
That's true. I think that a really funny fandom would be the Supernatural fandom, because those people are fucking crazy, and I want them.
That show's been way too long.
Yes.
Firefly. Can we talk about Firefly now? Is that allowed?
We can always talk about Firefly. I love that show, and I love. It's so great. Oh my god,
it's tainted by association.
Peggy. First of all, Firefly is not tainted by association. Firefly in and of itself is perfect.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I think this is my favorite double feature. One of my favorite double features is Galaxy Quest and Fanboys. It like is exactly what being they're just two massive love letters to fans.
Is Star Drew Video Drew, or is this a different Drew?
It's a different Drew.
Got it. Okay.
No, right now she is doing or preparing for one of her Video Chronic quizzes.
Oh, okay.
I believe it's at 9 our time, and then I can't remember. Oh, I think it's the Selena. I've been to visit her statue, and I took a photo next to it, posing next to her, and it hurts me to look at the photo because I'm so fucking thin. Like, I'm tour thin in that. It's amazing. Yeah, dude, Buffy would be so good, but again, a little sad. Supernatural would be great. I love Peggy. Taylor Swift fans. Oh, I don't know if they can make a movie about that. I'm sure that there's a writer out there that could be like, I could write that. Like, I could write a movie that would be good for that.
Maybe.
Remember?
Are there any guys? I don't see any super chats. I want to see $5-6 donations to the Switch.
Nobody. Do you guys have any questions for either of us? I know we've covered a lot, but there are always questions to be answered. Nobody. So we'll figure it out. I'm gonna give. I mean, I don't know how, because I know it's East Coast, and I know that you're, an insomniac like I am, and I live on vampire hours like I do. So I don't. Let me know if we're going a little late, but I mean, you know me, I can talk until I fucking pass out.
I've got the stamina to go the distance with you, Switchblade.
Phrasing. Ugh. What was your favorite movie growing up that you have gone back and watched and are still like, yeah, no, this is amazing?
A childhood favorite that I still think is amazing?
Yeah.
I mean, Toy Story? Does that count?
Yes, 100%. That was our childhood.
Yeah.
And that came out in our childhood, guys. That's not saying that like you showed it to your kid once they turned a certain age. Like that came out when we were 11.
Toy Story is just a perfect movie with a brilliant premise that is timeless, and like even when it came out, you knew it was something special, and it hasn't even aged a day since then. It's incredible.
Have you gone back and watched it lately?
It's probably been a few years.
Because it is very interesting going back and watching that first one and being like, wow, this was high tech at the time.
Yeah.
4 is so much better. Like it's amazing to like see the progression in the technology. But yeah, I think with that series, it definitely like has echoed a lot of like, especially like because we are so close in age. It's been very much like a times like a freeze frame of our lives at that point and like what we're going through.
Oh yeah, yes, we grew up at the same time as those characters, as Buzz and Woody did. Yeah,
like all of those issues that they were facing were like things that we were going through. I hate to say it, but like Cars 2, you know, like or Cars as well. Like, have you seen Cars 3?
No.
Cars 3 is literally about like this guy who is at the top of his game. Like when he was at the top of his game, he was the best of the best. And now he's aging out and getting passed up by all these like young kid rookies. And he has to like understand that like he's not the best anymore and like has to take a backseat. And like his role is now like helping out these kids like become the best.
What's the character's name?
Which one?
The old person in Cars 3.
Oh, Lightning McQueen.
It's Lightning McQueen. Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's the main character of the first and second. He's like the main.
I did know that. I did know that. I was like thinking, like, is there an old person in Cars 3?
I mean, in Cars,
Michael Caine in Cars 2, or was that?
Michael Caine is in Cars 2. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Charlton Heston is in Cars 1.
I'm sure that'll be a question that PJ tries to throw at us.
Well, I mean, if you spin Pixar, 100%.
Or it's just going to be an animation because we got to have question 8, animation. Can't let Jeff have a perfect round until we ask about animation.
Hey, those are the questions I know I can get. I'm always guaranteed at least 1 point per round, and it's always animation. I like those. What's a movie that you hated growing up and then have rewatched that you have a new appreciation for?
That's tough. I have no idea how to answer that.
Or the reverse, the one that you loved as a kid and you look back and you're like, why the fuck did I like that movie?
I have no idea. I'd have to go look at the collection. I'd have to go look and see like, oh, that. Well, my friends always tease me that I gave The Godfather 3 stars, right? Like, The Godfather's a good movie. To me, it's not like a favorite movie of mine. It's not a perfect movie. So I think it's a good movie. And then they would say, well, you gave Saved 3 stars as well.
Saved is a really good movie.
Right. I was like, Saved is good. It accomplishes its goals. And they would always tease me mercilessly. So maybe I overrated Saved and underrated The Godfather. But I mean, they're the same.
I think you overrated Saved because Saved is an amazing movie. I love Mandy Moore in that. Also, what's his face? Kevin McAllister.
Yeah, Saved and Pretty Persuasion came out around the same time, and I remember liking those movies.
I forgot about Pretty Persuasion.
As everybody does. You think we're getting any Pretty Persuasion questions in the Schmodown this season, Switchblade? I don't think so.
I mean, my favorite movies never get asked about. Like, there was one question about one of my favorite movies, and I was so angry that it wasn't in a match of mine. Like, I literally had to leave the studio.
These are the questions that, like, I would dominate on, and they're just not asked. I think Ben Bateman knows fucking Pretty Persuasion. There's no way. Okay,
Ben Bateman doesn't know heavyweights, so, like, let's not expand on that. But like there was one question about Out Cold. There's been no questions about Grind or Waking the Divine. Oh, I love that movie, Grind. I love that movie so much. It's so much fun.
Wow. I haven't heard that one in a long time.
Okay. No, I literally I ran into Adam after a show because he's a drummer. What's his name? Adam Brody. Who was in the OC, and then the OC stopped being the OC and went off the air, and nobody heard from him until like 500 women or something like that.
Mr. and Mrs. Smith, right?
He was kind of in Mr. and Mrs. Smith, but like nobody remembers
his body, right?
Yeah, but nobody remembers him for those roles, But like this was like 2 years after the OC got off. Was
in the Land of Women.
The Land of Women, that's what it was. With Meg Ryan. But he was a drummer, and his band was playing the same ticket that a band that I worked for in LA was playing, and I like ran into him outside, and I was like, "Oh my god, I didn't know you were such a great drummer," because he's a very talented drummer. And I was like, "Oh, by the way, I love Grind. That movie is so good." And he fucking flipped out on me and like started yelling at me. You don't do that to me if you're a stranger. So I tore him a new one, and I was like, first of all, fuck you. You're lucky anybody recognizes who you are anymore, because the OC is off the air and nobody knows what you do outside of the OC. For somebody to think that you are good in another movie, maybe you should say thank you and not fucking rip your fans apart. And I like tore him. And then I walked into the building, and as I opened the door, like Rachel Bilson was standing right there inside she was literally like witnessing me tear her boyfriend apart.
So hot.
She's just standing there, and I like walked in, and I was like, sorry. And she just was like, sorry. And I like walked in. Yeah, it was ridiculous. I was like, fuck you. I love that movie. It's so much fun.
I fucking loved Airborne.
Airborne?
Was Seth Green in that movie?
Yeah. That was the rollerblading one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Airborne. Good movie.
Yes. I remember that. Jack Black has a small role in that. I need to rewatch that movie. It's been a while. Oh my god, I forgot Kristen Stewart was in The Land of Women. I need to rewatch that movie.
It's just showing off tonight in the chat.
Well, she's sober, so she can.
Oh, is that the trick? We got to send her a little case of booze beforehand?
Oh, no. It's my show, so I get to drink. All my friends, like anybody in the chat can drink if they want, but she's also been studying her butt off, so she's amazing.
Right. So if we throw her off her game a little bit.
No, because she's a faction mate of mine, so I'm gonna. Oh, that's right. I forgot Airborne was its own slice for Makuga. Makuga loved that movie so much that they made it. Oh, maybe you're not. Fine. I love you.
I've been showing off drunk. Wow.
And she's an Amazon too, so she is one of my favorite human beings on the face of the planet. Ooh, girl. I can't do that. I turn into Linda Blair if I crossfade. I vomit. It's not a good physical reaction. It's not fun. It's one or the other. What are you talking about, Chris? Do you know that Popeye technically classifies as a musical?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's so sad.
It was a question in the musical category that I got, I believe.
Really?
Yeah. In the tournament.
What match was that?
I don't know. Whatever I spun musicals in.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Yeah, it was It was a Robert Altman thing.
I can't keep matches straight anymore. I'm like, I can barely remember what I did during my matches.
I have no idea. Honestly, the most impressive people in the Schmodown are the people who know Schmodown trivia and are like, oh, I remember when you took the belt off so and so, and you spun this. I was like, what the fuck are you guys talking about? I have no idea.
You're like, was I there for that?
I barely remember half the matches.
Well, I mean, you've had
the only matches I choose to remember are matches when I win a belt or I beat John Roca.
That's fair. I mean, because you guys as the Patriots had like 9 defenses.
Yeah, the Patriots were amazing. We don't need to talk about them. Silvestrini, let's talk about your love life. You seeing anybody in quarantine?
Nice deflection.
I mean, you've got this massage table, this fabled massage table that no one I know has ever been on.
I sold it.
I was going to say, you might as well sell it at this point.
I mean, Brandon was on it.
Brandon Hanna.
I got Brandon on it. Yeah, he had some like lower back pain and he was like limping around the apartment. I'm like, what is wrong with you? Like, he's not like standing up straight. He's like literally hunched over like an 80-year-old man.
Oh, man.
I don't know, something in my lower back. And I'm like, Brandon, like my massage table is in the living room. Like, just tell me to bring it out. Like, I have nothing else to do.
I didn't know he had a bad back. I don't know if we would have drafted him if we would have known that. He needed to pass a physical.
It was okay. First of all, you know that we can sleep funny and we can't turn our heads further than this. Like, there are nights that like you just sleep funny and your body's like fucked up.
That's right, because we're old, yes.
Right. So he was sitting at his desk for a little too long without lumbar support or something like that. And so he like his lower back was hurting him. So I put him on the table and
lucky Brandon Hanna. He's just getting massages.
Not anymore. I mean, Sabrina can do what she can, but
with those little hands.
Those little hands. She's so sweet. I adore them. I was actually really shocked that you guys drafted Brandon and not Sabrina. That was really interesting. I was like,
decisions had to be made that night, Silvestrini.
I was like, going for a house divided. I see how it is.
Yeah, I can't have Brandon Hanna too happy. You got to keep him hungry.
Yeah, just have him fighting against that beautiful girlfriend of his that he lives with. It's fine.
They live together now? My goodness.
Yeah. That was the reason I moved home.
His loss.
Yeah, for sure. No, his gain. Are you kidding? He lost roommates and gained a live-in girlfriend. Like, that is an upgrade. I'm sorry. I don't care who you are, but that's an upgrade. Oh my god. What is going on in the chat? Something happened. Oh, I love Drop Dead. Dude, Drop Dead Fred is amazing. That is was that 80s or 90s? It's like right at the cusp, I think.
I want to say 90 or 91. I want to say 91.
I don't know. They're throwing trivia back and forth at each other in the chat. I can't keep up. I don't care. But unless they're throwing questions at us through Streamlabs, like, I really don't care.
Yeah, guys.
Speaking of Streamlabs, there was a question sent in. Peggy wanted to know, if you could cast yourself in any movie role ever, which do you choose? And also, please name for me one guilty pleasure movie of yours. Jeff, I have yet to meet you, but I look forward to the day the pandemic lifts and studio matches begin. Go Den. Yeah, Peggy. So, okay, so role in any movie that you would cast yourself in, and guilty pleasure movie.
I think I would be Slater in Dazed and Confused. That would be up there. And guilty pleasure movie, Color of Night, starring Bruce Willis.
Ooh. I mean, guilty pleasure implies that it's not a good movie.
Yeah.
Right? I think that's like all of my favorites. I think one of my guilty pleasures in an underrated sense is Return to Me.
Okay.
I love that movie. It's Minnie Driver and David Duchovny and like this whole Belushi and oh my god, what's her name? Not Helen Hunt.
Jim Belushi?
Yeah, Jim. It's such a great movie. It's so sweet. It takes place in Chicago. It's such a sweet movie, and it's got a great soundtrack and a great fucking cast. Robert Loggia, yes. Yes, Robert Loggia's in it. Yeah, there's like this whole group of like older men who like own this Irish Italian restaurant. And then they all play cards together afterwards, and they like discuss like best dead singer, like best baseball player, like while they're like cheating at poker together. It's so great.
Dude, should we trade Brandon Hanna for Peggy Gubbins?
No, you don't get Peggy.
I mean, Peggy, I may have to talk to your manager after tonight. You've really impressed me in the chat.
Peggy, shut the fuck up. Um,
I might have to yeah, exactly. Offer up Brandon Hannah.
no. We don't want him back in the den. We traded him away the first time for a reason. Truth. But yeah, and roll Mama Morton in Chicago, I think, is my favorite.
That's a good one.
I like that role. I mean, basically anything that, Queen Latifah does, I'll cast myself in. That sounds about right. Like, that's my niche.
Are you the Equalizer?
I 100% would be. I haven't watched it yet because, like, I don't have CBS, or like the streaming CBS thing. But I mean, yeah, I could be. I mean, I feel like I've been that for friends of mine in the past. So.
I definitely wouldn't mess with you. I know that much.
No, because I'm Sicilian. I know how to make a body disappear.
That's right. Cement shoes.
Do you know that Coca-Cola gets blood out of the concrete to the point where they can't detect it by DNA?
Good to know.
Yeah. Fun fact.
No. Definitively proving Coke is better.
What did you say?
Coke is definitely better than Pepsi if it can get, blood out of white shoes. Peggy Evans.
You keep your eye off her. She's my girl. I will fight you for her, physically and emotionally.
I think I win no matter what.
Did you say you think you'd win no matter what?
Win or lose, I win just getting in the ring.
You seem like that kind of guy. Oh God. Okay, guys. I think I'm getting a little too drunk for this to carry on much longer. So we'll give it another.
Keep it going, guys. Keep the chats coming.
If you guys keep the Streamlabs coming in, we'll keep going.
I was waiting for it to get to this point, dealing with drunk Rachel, but
it has been a while since we've been drunk together. Because I used to bring booze to the studio.
What happened the last time?
No, I don't. Whoa! Love it. How's that girlfriend of yours doing?
Justin Towns, Silk.
Oh, Silk is so slippery. Corduroy or velvet, Justin. Always corduroy. You get a soundtrack. Yeah, if you guys want to keep it going, throw in some Streamlabs. We'll keep going. But I'm going to give us another 15 minutes. We're going to ask a few more questions. And then, yes, Orange Crush. Yep. Dude, RC Cola, that's something that, like, I did not grow up with until, I think Safeway started carrying them out here. But what do you think is a movie that should have been made a TV show and it would have been better that way?
You ready for this one?
Mm-hmm.
Lady in the Water.
Ooh. Yeah, that would have been a really good series.
Terrible movie, but for some reason it came to mind.
I'm not a big Shyamalan fan.
I love Knight. I think he's a genius.
I mean,
who's made some really bad movies.
Yeah, I think I stopped being a fan of his when Signs came out. I think that he did a massive disservice by showing us the monster in full daylight, because it looked like they went to like find a costume for the alien, and they went right, but like it looks like they found a discarded Creature of the Black Lagoon costume in some basement.
That's a studio note saying, we're making an alien movie without any aliens? What do you mean? You got to show the alien in it.
It was so much scarier when you couldn't see the alien.
Listen, and now that Knight pays for his own movies, he gets to do whatever he wants. So I think that a lot of those early movies, including The Happening and After Earth in particular, because that one was pretty expensive. Last Airbender, like studio meddling, you can just sense it.
Yeah, it was just.
Also, he was trying to be something that he wasn't.
Well, he keeps trying to be Hitchcock, which I'm like, we had Hitchcock. Like, can we not do that?
We'll see if this new one, Old, is any good.
Which one is his new one?
It's called Old.
Old.
They did a little trailer for the Super Bowl. Check it out.
Interesting. I don't know if I caught that one. I don't think I caught that one. But I can't agree with you with this at all. American Tail was an amazing movie. It was so good. Like any Bloom or shit. Why am I going blank on this?
Peggy says a Sing Street series like that would be good, but the movie is great. So like,
yeah.
I think it's got to be a bad movie that you want to see made into a good series.
Well, it doesn't have to be a bad movie.
It's a good movie you think could make a great series, but I don't think you can take a great movie and then make
a great series as well. I mean, make like a companion piece to it and like continue the story.
I don't know. We'll see how the Sopranos movie turns out.
Yeah, I'm actually shocked that they're doing that.
Don't you think, Peggy? I think it has to be a bad movie.
I don't think it has to be a bad movie. I mean, I think that there are good movies that would have been better as a TV show. And I think that there are some TV shows that I'm kind of like, oh, that could have been a really great movie.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't need 19 hours on this.
Like half the seasons of 24.
Yeah, I still haven't watched that.
I need 24 episodes of this show.
Yeah. Like, I appreciate the premise of it being like every episode is 1 hour in real time, but I'm like, but when does he pee? And like, when does he sleep? Like, do they cover that in the show?
That I don't know.
Like, I honestly am asking, like, because I have no idea if that's what they did or not.
Switchblades switch to water.
I did.
Well, I don't see any super chats coming in, and that's disappointing. So we may just have to wrap this up. We have to finish your audience.
Yeah, guys. Oh my God, yes, Biodome. Oh,
yes, Biodome the series. I bet you those two guys would go for that right now.
I mean, what else are they doing? And I mean, I don't. Do either of them look very different from when they made Biodome? No. Yeah, that would have been great. I would have loved that. Oh my God, we do have another Streamlabs come in. Hold on.
Tip the lady. She's got to get paid.
Oh, no, I lied. That's just my phone telling me that I had an email.
That was cruel. So we've got a Streamlabs question here.
Nope, guess not. Because my phone like lights up every time I get an email, and if it doesn't get checked, it like just notifies me.
That's all right, guys.
Dude, I think Great Gatsby would have been a great. Wait, no, sorry.
I think it's going to be a series now.
It updated. I think Great Gatsby would be a great series. I think that my junior or my sophomore English teacher would have really appreciated that because we did like I think we did like an entire semester on just the Great Gatsby and like the thematics behind it. It was a lot.
I'm more of a Macbeth guy.
You know what? We did Macbeth and Rosencrantz and Guildenstern Are Dead in my senior AP English class because we would read companion books to each other. So we did like Beowulf and Grendel. We did, I think we did 2 Toni Morrison books, and then we did Hamlet and Rosencrantz and Guildenstern Are Dead. And I was the only person in the entire class while we had like silent reading, while we were reading Rosencrantz and Guildenstern Are Dead to like just laugh out loud during that book because it's a comedy. It's so funny. Have you read it?
We got an A in Shakespeare class, but that was, I don't know. I like the dramas, the tragedies more than the comedies.
Well, I mean, Rosencrantz, Guildenstern are Dead are they're the comic relief in Hamlet. They're like the bumbling idiots. But then somebody wrote a companion piece to it called Rosencrantz, Guildenstern are Dead, and it's fucking hilarious. It's all about like it's like Lion King 2.5. And so it's like,
which we all know. Yes, Lion King 2.5. That old chestnut.
It tells their side of the story from the background while still telling the story, like in sync. It's like Go, but
it's like Go. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Well, Go tells like the same story, but like from different perspectives, off and on throughout the entire movie. It's the concept.
Dropping Go bombs over here.
That was released right around my 17th birthday, I think. Yeah, because it was the first rated R movie I got to see as a 17-year-old. Because, that was such a big thing back then. Anyways, all right, so we're not getting any fucking chat, so fuck it.
Yeah, sure. We're keeping our shirts on. One of us was gonna take our shirt off.
And tonight. It was you. No, Justin, I'm not gonna answer that unless you fucking send me money. I'm sorry. There's a question in the chat. I would love to answer that. However, if you want that answered, put in the Streamlabs. Sorry. It's been a long night. It's been a long week. All right, so I like to ask my favorite question. My closing question is always the same question. It's from my favorite movie, one of my favorite movies of all time, Almost Famous. It's the last question that William gets to ask. Do you have to be happy to write a love song? Do you have to be sad to write a sad song? What is it that you love about music?
I love that music can take me back to a specific time and place. That I could hear a song that played during a certain moment in my life, and it can transport me right back to that moment. As far as whether you have to be happy to write a love song or sad to write a sad song or whatever it is, no, I don't think you need. I think the best love songs are probably written when you're sad. And I bet some great sad songs are written when people are happy. So I don't think that the feelings have to correspond with the message of the song.
I love that. Thank you so much for coming on tonight. Happy belated birthday. I know it's the next day for you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you for having me on. Happy to do it anytime, Switchblade. The Snidepocalypse could blow into town at any moment.
All right. Well, tell the kids where they can find you and what you're doing and all that.
At the Sneider, Twitter, Instagram, Cameo. I make some just great cameos. I've got the podcast, The Sneider Cut, and I actually got John Roca as guest this week. John Roca in his Collider return. They said it was never going to happen, folks, but no one tells the Insnider no. And then finally, my blog, theinsnider.blogspot.com, where you can keep track of all the movies that I see in a given year. I don't do the letterbox thing because I'm not a follower.
And you can find him on Twitter with that link being right down below, and none of the other links are there because he told me not to put them there.
So put anything you want.
Go to his Twitter. Follow him.
Find my old MySpace.
Yeah, support him. It'll be fine. MySpace. Jesus fucking Christ. That makes me feel so old. So as for me, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Silvestrini. Everything is right down below. Next week, I have the one and only Liz Shannon Miller as my guest at 6:30 Pacific time next week. Tune in and all that fun. I will not be doing Zoe's recaps because they are on hiatus right now. Stay tuned until the end of March when they start back up, and we will be doing them. It switches from Tuesday nights to Sunday nights. Other than that, you guys are the best. Thank you so much. And we're going to do my favorite thing now. It's called an awkward dance off because you have to hit end broadcast, and I don't know when it ends.